I've not made any major, what I would call a major change in any programming. All the programs that we're running now are programs that were running when I got here.
Yeah.
That we've tweaked a lot, I'd say, but it's all tweaking.
Yeah. But I have never.
We haven't added twerking.
No, don't add twerking to your.
No, right. No adding twerking, but we have tweaked.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to tweak.
But not twerk.
Yeah. That's my personal guarantee. I will not twerk at church, ever.
I got together with Dana and I said, Dana,
yes,
listen,
yes.
We were like one song choice away from getting Sharon out of here. Play Days of Elijah this week, and it's a sealed deal. You know, like, I hate that song, but that's the thing. I was just like I do that, and that's what people
got some theological problems.
A lot.
There's some issues with Days of Elijah.
But no, I had never done that, you know, and I don't think most pastors do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's the challenge.
Okay.
Which one of us can chase someone off first?
Oh, no.
Race.
You know what? Okay. I will admit this. There are a lot of jerky pastors out there. I'll say that.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think they're being too.
No, we're not jerks.
Delightful?
We're just very funny and delightful. We're just a joy to be around.
Our shenanigans is cheeky and fun. These other guys are just hurtful and cruel.
Yeah. What is that from again?
It's from Super Troopers.
Yeah, that's a good one. So listen, I think the majority of most ministers are just legitimately good guys. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Just trying their best. I'm with you.
But I legitimately think, and I'll put most pastors, you know, on that level. Say there are some out there that are actually legit good guys, but yeah, there are some out there. There are some out there, Martin, that are just
some predators.
That's a good word. There are predators out there. For example,
not us.
I got a buddy who
is a predator.
No, he's not a predator. He's a good, nice young man, great young man.
Oh, okay,
you know, I could see him. You know, he's young. He's not married right now, but you know, given time, given experience, he'll be a leader someday in the church, in my opinion. You know, he's got a lot of great character, strong witness and everything. I'm really impressed with this young man. Well, he was telling me the other day, he says, awesome. He goes, hey, I said, because I knew he was going to visit his grandpa in Georgia. How's your grandpa doing? He goes, he's doing good. We had some issues though. I was like, oh yeah, what issues? And he says, well, we had some issues with the pastor up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Yeah. Well, what kind of issues? Well, he would come by, and the pastor would always come by and visit my grandpa, and we were always really thankful for this, and he would visit him, and he'd spend some time with him, just like any good pastor would do. And I guess like a month ago, you know, my grandpa asked him if he could get him some groceries, and he gave the guy his debit card.
Mm-hmm. And
the pastor went out and charged $600 on this debit card.
Whoa, predator.
Yeah. Has the grandpa's truck parked in his yard. I was like, what, dude? He goes, yeah, man, we don't know what to do. I was like, well, go get your gun. Let's go get him. That's what I said.
You're going to go roll him?
Let's roll on him. And he's like, I jokingly said that, but there was
jokingly, not literally.
Part of me, like when I hear that kind of stuff, when I hear pastors giving us bad names out there like that, that makes me mad, man. That ticks me off.
That's like the guys who can't keep control of their, you know, their stuff. You know, they gotta go chasing the ladies and whatnot.
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah.
I
don't like that either.
I don't like that either. Dude, that's been coming up a lot lately too. A lot more lately. There's some crazy stuff with some guys.
You need to keep it under control, bro.
Yeah, get that on lockdown.
Last Sunday I was preaching on sex.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it was great. And I had a fever while I was doing it, so it got cut short.
Oh.
So
did it happen prior? Did the fever come on prior or during?
I had it a little bit before, and then it just spiked. And it was when you start feeling a little woozy and like you're going to fall over, that's when it's time to cut it.
Yeah.
Cut it short. That's
I have preached sermons.
I get to that point and I'm like, I'm going to
I have preached sermons that I don't even remember preaching. That's how I've preached sick. I've preached sick so many times, and then I get home. And I had someone call me and, hey, I really liked your sermon Sunday. And I was like, what in the world did I say? I had to go back and listen to it. And I'm like, I don't remember any of this. So, but the point being is that there's some bad dorks out there that are calling themselves pastors. They're really predators. And he stole $600 from this elderly man. I was like, and it wasn't even like, and like some of it was food, but it was like, there was stuff to like it was like brakes for his car and stuff like that too. Like it was I was like, what? I was like, give me a break, dude. And so they're pretty upset about that. And he's like, what should I do? I said, let's roll. I said, Martin's already up there. He'll meet us. So
I'm okay with this. We can play this game. There's where does he live? What town?
I can't remember what he said. I'll find out though.
Well, don't. Yeah.
I told him to message to me, and we'll keep it off podcast and everything like that. So
we'll keep that under control.
We'll just say it this way: somebody's getting a refund. Okay.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely convinced that it would be sinful to savagely beat a guy who is stealing from an old man.
You think?
I don't think it's sinful. I think that it's probably okay. I feel pretty comfortable with it.
Like justice?
I don't know if it's justice or it. I'm really not sure. It's sort of like the. I like to think about it more in terms of whether or not you're being a gentleman.
Oh yeah, okay. You got this thing for gentlemen. I remember this.
I do. I think that we as Christian men have a responsibility to be gentlemen. That means upholding a higher level of moral standing. And when you violate that higher level of moral standing, then you open yourself up to savage beatings.
I have a question.
Sir, yes. You with the tie.
Yeah. Right here.
Justin's wearing a tie, everyone. He's very dapper for tonight's podcast.
Yeah. As gentlemen,
right,
and as pastors with fantastic beards, would we be sacrificing our gentlemanhood if we savagely beat another pastor?
Not in the case of him stealing from his parishioners and you protecting one of your own parishioners.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because this other feller, if everything that you're saying is accurate, I don't know.
That's the other thing too. Really hate for this to be inaccurate, and then we go beat up a poor guy. I feel really bad about that.
He broke his kneecaps. I mean, that's a shame.
Yeah,
but
made his wife watch.
Man, that
got dark
level. I don't know if that would be gentlemanly, because then you're committing you're making her experience some trauma that she didn't necessarily need to experience.
Yeah. Remind him the next time he thinks about this that this happened.
This stuff, it occurs.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Consequences.
Yeah, I think that we rely a little too much on the state to handle all of our business, but that is a God-given role of the government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think that also an individual has a responsibility to care for his own family and to care for his own people. If that means going up to a feller and asking him politely what is up with these charges, I don't think that's at all inappropriate.
Okay.
You might not want to have the barrel of your gun in his mouth while you're asking.
Okay. All right. Well,
maybe not there.
Good to know.
Maybe just near his face. Maybe pressed hard against his eyeball.
Good to know. Good to know.
So he can see it.
Yeah, well, you do want him to see it, yeah. Oh! What? So, but yeah, okay, so we're
$600. I know people who would be willing to murder somebody for $600.
Oh, yeah, my dad would have been one of them, so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because just not thinking, yeah.
Not a good idea.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
That's right.
So.
You can buy a nice handgun for $600.
Real nice.
You can get you a Springfield Armory XD series.
That's weapon. A nice gun right there.
Yeah. Very fun gun.
Very fun. Easy. You can get that easy. Still have some left over.
Yeah. Well, you got to buy ammo.
Well, yeah. Good thing about those Springfields, they come with like 4 or 5 mags. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
They do.
Cute.
So yeah, all right. So we're gonna roll on that guy. But yeah, I was just like, I felt bad. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I was like, this freaking turd stealing from an elderly man. So this kind of garbage that gives us all bad names. Like everybody's all like, pastors are all crooks. I'm like, listen, we're not all crooks. A lot of us are really kind of cool, and when we're just like you, Except we talk for a living. Like literally, that's what we do. We talk for a living. But there are some bad. There's always a couple bad apples in the basket.
Dude, I know of some guys from this town up here who were doing some bad juju. And honestly, it's like not in town anymore, and that's a good thing. Because I wouldn't really know how to respond to the individual. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
After the bad juju went down. Be like,
Okay, so in order to challenge another pastor to fisticuffs, okay, they have to do something bad first. Like we just can't go up and try to take their turf, right? It's not
like a theological debate,
like a turf war,
where it's like, I think you're an Aryan, so I'm gonna punch you in the face.
A theological turf war. I'm like, I'm taking your area and I'm making it mine. I mean, biblically speaking, that's what they did.
Yeah, they were commanded by God to do so, though, and you're just doing it because you don't want any more Anglicans setting up shop near you.
All right, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. So we'll see. If we need to go motivate somebody to be a gentleman, I'm okay with it. I can.
Jesus cleared the temple, baby.
He did
with a whip.
Yeah. He bellowed them.
You know what that means? We gotta get a whip.
You're saying that we should whip it?
Whip it good. I am. As a matter of fact, I am.
Sounds okay to me. I'm all right with it.
Sounds retro to me. I'm all right with that.
Oddly comfortable with this. I don't know if that's right or not, but I'm
care.
Strangely comfortable.
I don't even care. I like it.
Just like I don't care.
Dude, that's awesome. Matter. I love that, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
That's some stuff right there. Like,
yeah.
Wow. I don't think I'd panic in a situation like that, but I'd have been fine back then.
I've seen stuff blow up and shot at and all that sort of stuff, man. I don't panic as much as I used to.
Yeah.
There was a time when I would have panicked, but it is long past.
In my early 20s, totally would panic. Didn't know what to do with that kind of stuff. Nowadays,
I was kind of tight in my 20s. I probably would have panicked in my 20s too, but in my 30s, nah.
30s are good.
Later 20s, I was not wound nearly so tight. I was coming down. And then after the deployment, man, forget about it. Everything's in slow motion now.
Yeah.
It's easy peasy. This is a marshmallow world I'm living in. So yeah, if they want to go roll somebody, I would go with them because I don't care because I think that's funny. So
I like that.
Be like, are you sure? Now, if they were just beating people up because they would like say
for a good time,
say they just had beef with them, like he had insulted their mother or something. Although I really like these guys' mother. She is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So maybe if they insulted her mother, I would roll with them. If there wasn't any criminal activities or theft or something like that, I don't know that I'd do it. If it was just personal beef, probably not. These boys up here, man, they don't mess around.
Well, for good reason. They don't have to.
Right. Yeah. And plus, they already know all the police officers and all that.
Honey Badger don't care.
He does not.
It's like old people repellent.
I can still hear her saying it and complaining about it in Sunday school because John Van Dyke would be teaching the Sunday school class. And I'd just be sitting there listening to him, being like, yeah, all right. I like this guy's style. Still do, by the way. He does an excellent job teaching the class.
It does.
I really enjoy it. But I'd be sitting there listening and somebody say something about those bongo drums. It's so funny.
You look back there and she's wagging her finger. It's like that finger too is longer than every other finger. It's the index finger.
Really?
And it's like longer than every other finger, and you're just like freaking E.T. in my eye there with that sucker. You know? And like, give me a break. That's a weird noise you're making. That's really weird. Okay, let's not leave that part in, okay? I'm making it very obvious and clear that you can't leave that part in, okay? We got plenty. That's good stuff.
That's not going to make it.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny though, so it might make it. I don't know.
That got really weird.
Yeah. My dog's looking at me like, what?
Yeah.
Just happened?
So glad my wife wasn't awake to hear that.
You got big anniversary plans? You doing something cool?
We are, well, here's the deal. Like, this is what our weekend looks like. So tomorrow night, anniversary, and we have to go out Friday night too to someone's surprise birthday party that we can't take the kids to. So,
because it's a naked party, right?
Yeah. No pants stains. Yeah. And so we're going Friday to a birthday party. Me and Faye and the boys. The boys are coming with us on our anniversary dinner, but we're going to medieval times.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
Yeah. Medieval times.
Love it.
Going to Disney. What's it called? That Disney place. Is there like a restaurant there that we have to go to? Disney Springs. In Disney Springs. We're going there.
I don't know what that is, but great.
It's like the old... it's whatever. So we're going to Disney Springs on Friday. Saturday, we're going with my parents to some event or whatever with our kids, you know. And then Sunday, Mother's Day, going out to lunch with Faye's mom and dad. So pretty long.
That's running and gunning, bro.
Yeah, man. So tomorrow, I'm laying low, getting my work done, laying low. Going
Good point.
Friday, laying low during the day, go out at night. Saturday, gunning all weekend. It's going to be crazy. And then Sunday, same thing. So
Friday, Leia's getting out of school. Well, first, Friday, I have my first session of clinical pastoral education. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go there in the morning and have about 4 hours worth of introduction and education, all that crying. Yeah, arguing. Then, after that, I'm going to have about... I'm going to go to the bank with Leia and do a mortgage meeting.
Okay, that's romantic.
Yeah.
Super romantic.
After that, we'll go get the kids, bring them back to the house. Babysitter will show up, and me and Leia are going to go to Savannah. We're going to stay at a bed and breakfast over here in downtown. The place has a deep bathtub, so she's going to get to soak in the bathtub. Do touristy stuff in Savannah. Come back the next morning. Turtle race. It's turtle race day. We're going to race some turtles.
Cool.
And then at the Onion Festival. Then on Sunday, probably keep it relatively low key because I'll probably end up spending a bunch of money with the whole bed and breakfast thing. So.
Yeah.
So Sunday for Mother's Day might just lay low.
It's a good idea.
Follow your advice there.
Yeah. See
how it goes. But we haven't gone out on an overnight in a long time. So it's time to knock that out.
Cool. Good deal, man.
Yep.
Welcome to Intermission. Intermission.
Are going to talk about the Andrew Peterson song, This is not my home, I do not belong where the antelopes and the buffalo roam.
Not going to do that song, but it has a hint of that. This is not your home. So
I think you should have Dana sing the song as a special.
Think? Maybe.
When he recorded that song, he was playing it on this weird instrument called a charango, which is made out of an armadillo. Can you believe that? It's like a mandolin made out of an armadillo hide.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I like that.
You should buy Dana one of those for Christmas.
I should.
Get him a guitar armadillo.
Guitar armadillo?
That's what I call it, because it's a guitar made out of an armadillo. Seems pretty sweet. I think we should make more instruments out of varmints.
Out of dead animals?
Yeah.
There's Ricky Bobby's going to be a trumpet when he dies. I'm going to turn him into a trumpet. Ricky Bobby. Killer's going to be harmonica. I'm going to turn Killer into a harmonica.
You want to put your mouth on him? Gross.
Huh? I love that dog. Although it drives me nuts. I love him. I love him so much I hate him.
Killer's a cool little dog. He's been alive for a long time.
I don't know if he's ever going to die. I don't know. There's some nights I feel like I'm going to wake up next to a dead dog.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen once.
Dude, it's going to happen once. So I'm going to wake up and there's going to be a dead dog next to me. I'm like, ah!
That's going to be sad.
I'm going to scream and I throw it out of the bed.
What are you going to do when you do wake up and find Killer dead in your bed?
Scream and run out the front door.
Are you going to bury him? Are you going to have a funeral for him with your kids?
I don't know. The only issue with burying him in our yard is we're in a flood zone.
Yeah, so he might come up.
Yeah. We'd have to bury him real deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we should do that. So
who wants to dig a hole? Ugh, digging a hole is the worst.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do. So
do you know what you could do?
What?
I don't know if you're going to want to share this with anyone.
Okay.
But this is what I do when I find dead critters around the yard and things. I throw it over the fence.
In the neighbor's yard?
Not into the neighbor's yard, into the field behind my house.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't ever make it into the field. It makes it into the tree line, which is fine. But you've got a fence, and you could just take whatever dead animal you happen to have, pet or otherwise, and toss it over the fence.
Just put her over the back of the fence there, that little in-between area back there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a dead dog back there. Yeah. It's going to be a dead dog laying back there. Over the fence.
You could take them down to the lakefront and throw them in the retention pond, and an alligator will eat them.
Oh, he'll get eaten.
Yeah.
He'll definitely get eaten by an alligator.
And then you won't have to worry about him coming back up.
Sure. I don't know how the boys would feel about that.
Well, don't tell them.
Well,
do it at night. In the dark. Under the cover of darkness.
I'm probably going to end up burying this dog. Is probably what's going to happen.
In a funeral, right? Formal funeral. Everybody gets dressed up.
Well,
you say goodbye to Killer.
Here's the deal. We've had this dog forever, man.
I know.
And so we kind of got to do something like that. You know? I mean, literally, Jonas has known him his entire life. He's known him for 9 years. He's known Killer.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long time. So
it is.
It's going to be sad. You know, so.
I don't think I've ever had a dog last that long.
Gosh, this dog is lasting forever. I can't believe it. Or here's another idea. When Killer dies, we just go get another one.
Yeah.
And call it Killer. It don't even have to be the same dog. It can just be a totally different dog, but twice
different
the size.
Breed,
yeah,
completely different.
There's Killer. They're like, Dad, this dog's 3 times the size as Killer. This ain't Killer. I'm like, this is Killer. It's Killer. Don't you say otherwise. I'm kind of weirded out that I'm going to wake up next to a dead dog.
Well, if the dog sleeps in your bed and the dog's old, do you let him go outside whenever he wants?
Yeah.
Okay, so he might decide to run off and die.
Maybe.
You might get lucky.
Maybe.
That's what cats do.
Yeah.
So you never have to bury a cat. You just wait for him to run away and die.
Yeah, but I don't know if Killer can run very far. He'll run like 3 or 4 steps and then he'll lay down. He's not a big runner nowadays, man. He's like it's real lazy. He just kind of lays around. Yeah. He won't even get up to pee sometimes. He'll just pee all over himself.
Huh.
Yeah. And sometimes he'll be in my bed peeing on himself. I'm like, come on, dude.
That's not cool, bro.
One time I pet him. Like he was laying on his chest. You know, he's laying on his back and he's like, and I rub his chest. He peed on my hand.
Nice.
Just hosed my hand in. It wasn't like a little bit, like a little spritz. He didn't spritz me. It was a lot of urine. I was like, because I pet him, and he's like, squirt. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. What is wrong with you? This is embarrassing. Get your functions under control, dog. Peeing all over everything. His breath stinks really bad. He spends the vast majority of his existence right now is spent licking his crotch.
Well,
he just lays there for hours on end, licking his groin, and I'm just like, stop it. Stop. I like push his head away. Stop it. Stop it. Like he'll get on my bed and he'll be there for 2 hours licking himself. I'm like, man, no one does that much. Like, come on. 2 hours? Seriously, I was watching an episode of Sherlock Holmes the other night, the new episode, the new seasons, which, let me tell you, every single one of you out there, if you haven't seen the Sherlock Holmes, on the BBC Sherlock Holmes.
Cumberbatch, right?
Cumberbatch. If you haven't seen those, you are missing out. How dare you? Get on the ball and watch all of them. The new season is amazing.
I haven't seen it.
Martin, you gotta watch them. They're good. Each episode is an hour and a half long.
I think you've told me that I need to watch that before.
So good. But anyways, I was watching that, and Killer is literally for an hour and a half just laying there and just licking himself. And I'm like pushing his head away. I'm like, stop. And he's like, it's like a magnet. His mouth is like a magnet to his crotch. And he just goes right back to it. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Seriously, man.
Well,
when you anything else? And then, and ready for this? This is even weirder. When he'll be licking for an hour and a half, and then he'll stop and he'll look there and he's panting. He's like, like, yeah. You've been doing that for, I'm like, that's not a lot of work. Stop. You're not out of breath. It's not.
Well, maybe he just needs to work on his breathing technique.
I don't know. Did he not breathe that entire time? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, come on.
Maybe he hasn't.
Gosh, it's so weird.
All right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
When you go to MMA class,
okay,
are there females there?
Yeah.
You ever roll with a female?
No, I never roll with females.
Yeah. Is that a personal thing, or is that a school thing, or do they just not want to roll with you?
Well, in the jiu-jitsu class, we don't get any females in the jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
They come to the stand-up. And so there's been times I've sparred against a female.
Yeah.
And when I do spar against them, it's basically me just going to be a punching bag for them because I'm not going to hit them back. Yeah. So, they're younger too. And so, I'm kind of like that training one. Like they'll learn how to hit somebody on me.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is. But like in the kids jiu-jitsu class, there's guys and girls.
Yeah.
Toby rolls against a girl.
Yeah.
So
at judo last night, there was a middle-aged woman there, and we learned some sweeps, get out of when they're pulling guard, how to get them off of you so you can escape guard.
Yeah.
And how to bounce them when they're in the mount.
Yeah.
By, doing your hip thrust.
Yeah.
Get them off balance, and then hook their arm, hook a leg, and then roll them. And then you're up, but you're in their guard. So, and we back and forth, try these different techniques. No problem. Then he adds a throw to it. And he says, here's what I want you to do. I want the one person to make like they're doing the throw. The other person do this sacrifice to put you both on the ground. And when you do the sacrifice to get you both on the ground, one goes into the mount, then you do the bump. You do the bump,
Buck.
You do the hook. Yeah, you do the hip thrust.
Yeah.
To
hip
get
thrust.
Them up,
we call it bucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you bump them and then you roll back and forth, and you're just going through the motions, right? So it's cool, it's whatever. And some of us were wearing gis, and some of us were wearing just regular gym clothes. I was wearing a gi, and he was like, "Okay, I want you to do the throw on the people who are wearing the gi, so that way you can get the grabs right." get the grip.
Yeah.
So you can do these throws. It's like, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Middle-aged woman, I have no problem. She can throw me around. It's all good. I have no problem getting in her guard, have her be in my guard, mount, don't care about any of that. Then it was time to switch, and I was supposed to throw her, and I was just like, I can't do it. So I was like, I can't throw this middle-aged woman. I just don't want to. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And I was like standing there for a second. I'm thinking, how in the world can I do this? And then one of the other guys was like, here, I'll do it. And then once the other guy came up, it was like, okay, we're rolling back and forth and all that sort of stuff. But and the rolling on the ground stuff, I didn't mind. That's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the throw. I just couldn't bring myself to throw that woman.
I was gonna say it had to be a little weird if she was mounting you.
That didn't bother me.
That would bother me. That would bother. I'd be like, eh.
I don't know. It wasn't that. It was the. And I didn't mind when she threw me.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And the throw we were doing was a sacrifice to bring the other person to the ground, and then you essentially you're essentially going down to the ground, pulling them down with you, and then using their momentum to roll back up and mount them.
Yeah.
Right. I forget what it was called. He told us what it was, but I forget. And I had no problem with any of the other stuff. It was just pulling that woman onto the ground. I just wouldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe I might. It sort of made me realize that if I ever wanted to, if there was ever a woman where I had to throw her, she would have to punch me a lot before I got to the point where I was going to throw her.
Yeah,
so it's like I just wouldn't do it.
Like if you were being attacked by a lady, if you were being attacked by a middle-aged woman, you'd be like, I don't know what I should do here.
I don't want to touch you. Yeah, I don't want to do any of this. Yeah, that's what I discovered. It's like I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in this scenario. I don't.
Yeah, there was one time there was like a young lady that was in the jiu-jitsu class, and I was like, I'm a big dude, Yeah. I'm a big dude. I'm like over 200 pounds. I'm like 225 pounds. And at the time, I was a little heavier. Yeah. And I would look at like, all right, we're going to roll. And then I'd look at David, who's like the boss there. And I'd just go, man, that ain't happening, dude. I'm not going to roll this little girl. Like, what am I going to do? Like, this is going to be weird. The last thing I need is like, you
got to get heavy in them transitions, Justin. Get heavy. Yeah,
someone to like videotape this and post it on Facebook, Pastor from Northeast is rolling around on the ground with some young girl. I'm like, no, I don't need that crap. So I don't do that. So I just go down.
If you don't roll heavy in your transitions, she's gonna get out.
Yeah, well,
she's gonna get out. So if you're trying to, if you're trying to pass her guard and get her that side control, you're gonna have to get heavy. There's no choice.
So far, the experiences I've had, because like when I boxed with some of these younger ladies and everything like that, they're too afraid to hit me, and so I'm just like, you need to let go, girl. You just hit me. Yeah. It's okay. I've been hit a lot harder than anything you're.
Yeah, you're kind of a masochist when it comes to that stuff.
I kind of am. I said, just go ahead and hit me. And sometimes I'll just put my hands down to like tempt them.
Let them punch you right.
And
then
I'll put my forehead down, and they'll just throw it right at my forehead. So it might, if I keep doing this, there might be some damage later on, but I'm not too worried about it right now.
Like, no, I'm good. It's cool.
Yeah, it's not too hard. I've been hit a couple of hard times, but it's no big deal.
That's why you need to switch to a non-striking sport.
I like it. I like it. I do like it.
Have you had any concussions yet?
No, only once. But that wasn't even from striking.
Well, no?
No, man.
Did you hit the ground hard or something?
I got slammed. So by a kid that's when I get hurt. I get hurt with noobs.
Yeah. Well, that's because they don't know how to pull.
They don't know how to do anything. And like it was an illegal move too.
Really?
But, yeah, I told you this. I got like I was doing jiu-jitsu and I was rolling this kid and I had to work from my back. the entire time. And so I triangle choked this kid once.
Well, that's jujitsu. Don't you guys like to roll on your back? And that's like your thing?
Yeah, but every time when we would start, we'd start on our knees, and I always got dominant position. I'd always be on top, and so I was just like, I'm just going to work from my back. And so I'd do it straight to my back and pull him in. And I triangle choked this kid so bad. Like, I got this kid so bad that I literally, he fell back onto his butt. And it sunk in, tight. And, and he was like, dang, that's, he goes, I didn't know what you were doing. I was like, yeah, well, you should be careful. And then we're rolling again. And I had him down and I had it again. And what he did is, he stood straight up and he picked me up off the ground, pulled me up, picked me off the ground, came off his knees, picked me up off the ground and dropped a knee into my face while I was on my back. He slams me on my back, and my head doesn't hit the mat at that point.
Yeah.
He just literally falls straight down, knee first, into my face. Cuts my eye open, right above my eyebrow. Slams my head in the back of my back of my head hits the floor. And
they have rules for a reason, right?
Yeah, and literally, David's he yelled. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he's literally the kid goes, "I didn't know I couldn't do that." He was 20 years old, and I was like,
"Well, he's gonna get a back injury trying to pick you up."
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of those young, strong kids, so lifted weights and crap, but...
Whatever. Yeah, but picking up a person ain't the same as picking up a barbell, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I'm a pretty big barbell.
Dude.
So, yeah, I've had that happen. So, that's the only time I say I had a concussion. So, because I literally...
Did you go to the doctor? Did you have to stay awake and everything?
No. I literally... I don't remember after that too much. I don't remember too much after that.
So he hit your
But
heart.
I did take a picture.
Okay.
Apparently I took a picture with my phone. I was like, what does this look like? And I took a picture so I could see it. And then I posted it to Facebook.
Nice.
And then I went to sleep. So.
And then I went to sleep and I slept for 27 hours.
No big deal.
It was a long time.
Yeah, a lot of blood, but then the kid came back months later. And he brought his girlfriend with him, and he's like, I split that guy's eye open one time. I said, "You bragging to your girlfriend?" He's like, "Yeah." I said,
"Come on over here.
Come on, man." And I tapped that kid out so fast. Oh, it felt so freaking good.
Did you wink at his girlfriend after you were done?
I looked right at her. I looked right at her.
Look at your boyfriend. Listen to him.
Yeah, and then you hear tap out, right? Yeah. How's that for splitting my eye open, you freaking cheater? So,
but yeah, we're gonna do some rolling tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to that. A little stress relief.
I haven't been able to get in for this last week. My knee, my good knee is all jacked up right now. I don't know what's going on. But it's all jacked up. I can't hardly do certain stuff with it. But so I didn't go to class last week. I took all the last week off. And then I've been working all this week. And so I haven't been able to go. I won't be able to go tomorrow. I'm probably going to go for a little bit on Friday. Yeah. But apparently in June, everything's changing. New schedule. I get to go an extra night, and I get to do 2 classes on Friday now because I'm an advanced student.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
fantastic. I don't know what it means either. So, but I have been helping a little bit with the kids' jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
So I've been helping with that, and hopefully I'm gonna try to get him to just let me help him out all the time because I think it goes smoother when I help. So I'm like, belt me up, brother, belt me up, man. I need to take a test for Muay Thai. I need to take a test for Muay Thai, and I'm like, because I just do MMA. And there's no belt system there. Yeah. I'm like, where am I at Muay Thai? And because he has that, he has Muay Thai, and then he has the Taekwondo belts. Muay Thai is for the adult classes and everything. I was like, where am I at? And he goes, you'd probably be this level. And I'm like, all right, let's take this test. Let me get this done. And so that's basically how I am. So, but
is he allowed to test you out?
Yeah, he can test me.
That's cool.
So yeah, and then maybe I'll be like, hey man, you should let me help out with some of these classes.
You should get some of them Muay Thai. What do they fight in? They fight in those weird skirts.
Yeah, or they have them real trunks. High up on the high cuts. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that. They also do like the armbands too. They do the armbands, which I wouldn't do that.
You should do that. You should do all that.
No, I'm not gonna do it. And
Muay Thai is nasty, bro. Those knee strikes, forget about it.
Oh yeah,
that's craziness.
It's basically that's basically the style that I've been learning this entire time. So all Muay Thai. That stuff, Muay Thai stuff. So I mean, the kicks are a little bit more Taekwondo kicks, not necessarily Muay Thai kicks, but knees and all that. Yeah, I've been learning all that. So yeah. Man, I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I've been yawning a lot.
God, no,
this is gonna be like yawn fest. Terrible. Or podcast gold.
It's probably gonna be podcast gold because we can't help but mine. I mean, I've got my miner's hat on, my figurative miner's hat on, and
I got my canary. I got my headlamp.
I got my pickaxe.
Your pickaxe. I like how we're miners from like the 30s. So.
A canary. You said a canary.
Yeah.
I'm saying pickaxe, and you're like, I'll get the canary.
That's right.
Like, what is this freaking canary doing to help, dude?
You don't know what the canary does?
I know it's warning if there's like dangerous gases. Yeah, if it dies, like that.
It's time to get out.
Yeah, which honestly, if it dies and you're down in that hole, it might be a little late.
Yeah, you might die too.
How I kind of feel. It's a little too late. The parakeet died.
Parakeet.
The canary. Crap, the canary died. And then you die. That's basically what's going to happen.
This guy who broke out of prison was running around town, and everybody knows this guy. Tatnall famous.
Tatnall famous.
Tatnall famous. Everyone knows him.